Nope.
Okay. So maybe.
I may just share, or if somebody else wants to give it a shot.
I can give it a shot if you'd like.
All right, Michelle, would you mind if David tried?
It's fine.
All right, David, if you could go ahead and share your screen. There we go. Excellent. And just maximize your browser window if possible so that we can see the whole thing. Perfect. All right, guys. So today we're going to start with setting up your marketing profile and going through your marketing profile. So David, if you click on the top corner of your screen where your name is, where it says David Lee, if you click on that, yep, and then go to settings. Okay, now on here, they moved this the other day. So if you click Connect Settings real quick, and then click on your marketing profile. Now, that for those of you who understand Connect, that may seem a little bit of a strange place for it. That is really your forward-facing marketing profile. It is not your Connect profile. So understand there has been some confusion with that in the past. That is really the marketing profile that you want to be setting up. And there's some key things we can do here and take away from this. So we're going to go through line by line. It looks like you have it pretty well set up, David. We'll still go through it to make sure that everything works and is set up properly so everybody can see.
So a quick question.
First,
I have a quick question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you record
Sure.
this so that people can watch it later?
I did hit record. Hopefully it saves. And again, if we do lose power in the middle of this class, guys, I apologize. We will reschedule. Obviously, this storm is coming, and we're hoping to be done before it hits full. So,
I'm sorry. Can you repeat how you got to marketing profile because I was logging in? Sorry.
Yeah, great. So under David, just do this again so people can see. We'll go through the steps real quick. If you click on your name and then click on settings, and then once this pulls up, you click on Connect Settings, which is the third down, and then Marketing Profile. And again, for those of you who understand the difference between Connect and have used Connect in the past, that may seem like a strange place to put it, but that is where it lives. So just be aware of that. So scrolling down, the first thing you're going to see we're not going to do this today, but you do have the option of clicking on the Kelly Guide. So if you scroll up, David, it's on the far right. It says Marketing Profile Kelly Guide. That is a step-by-step that will allow you to get stuff set up. I'm going to take you through the marketing profile instead, and then we can circle back to that. But that is a step-by-step where it asks for certain information that you can input. If you want to be handheld walking through it, I'm going to talk you through the marketing profile so you understand what everything is today. All right? So scrolling down, you have my photo. David chose to put the KW logo. You can put your face on that. That is your, if you want your face on your website, that is important. And then team logo. Team logo, you really only want to put that if you are on a team or if you have personal branding, team branding. So sometimes individual agents have team branding, that you could put that there. It says it needs to be 360 by 360. If you are on a team, ask them for a version of the logo that has been modified to work in this. Some logos are wide by their nature. That is not what you want here. You want a version of your logo which has been modified to fit in the 360 by 360 space. Some call that a small version of the logo or an icon version of the logo. If you work with a marketing person, they can generally build one of those for you, so you have it. Scrolling down, guys. Now you have first name, last name, pretty straightforward. License number. If you want to put your license on there, you know what? I should have checked with Debbie or Deb Linke as far as compliance goes. I put mine in there. I believe that is required on the sites. And then team, I don't have a team because, or actually, this is time out. David, you're not on a team. That's different than the office name, although you certainly could put that there. Team would be, I call myself Joe McHugh Real Estate Associates, so that's my team. I know Michelle Milton, you have a team. Marvin, you have the Benenson Associates. That's what you would put there, is if you are on a team and working with somebody, that goes there. So you could delete that from there, David, just so you're aware. The other thing is, just to be clear, when we're talking about brokerages, for Stamford, remember, you're not Keller Williams Stamford, you're Keller Williams Prestige Properties. And for Ridgefield, we're not Keller Williams Ridgefield, we're just Keller Williams Realty. So understand that when you are putting who we're working as in somewhere, and we'll scroll down, you want to make sure that those are put in correctly. Designation, credentials, again, you don't need to have these all filled in. So David, you have Realtor and Realtor. Those will often show up together, so you might not want to have both of those. Or you could put your job title as Real Estate Sales Associate and credential as Realtor, or you could just have Realtor in there. Again, those will often show up together, so unless you wanted to say Realtor and then immediately under it also say Realtor, you might not want to have those both in there, okay? Bio is good. You know, just say something about you. You can edit this. You can talk more about your team. You can talk more about, you know, why you got into real estate, something that distinguishes you. If you do work on a team, there is a team page on the website that can be filled in based on that. But and I'll show you how to find that a little later on. Scrolling down, mobile number, office number, fax. Just make sure you have that in there. Oops. So this got loaded. Scroll down again just so we see that. Oh, scroll up. Yeah, right here. So yeah, put your email and your website. That will show up in some of your marketing. If you ever set that up to autofill, you put that information in here. So again, I'm just going to say here, you have Keller Williams Ridgefield. I would change that to say Keller Williams Realty if you are with Ridgefield, and it needs to say Keller Williams Prestige Properties if you are in Stamford. Any questions on that so far? Nope. So just as a point of clarity, guys, you see the next line says Market Center Broker Office Phone Number. So that's where you would put either the phone number for Stamford or Ridgefield. So up a little higher up where it says office phone, if you wanted to put a personal office phone, you could do that. Now, Connecticut does require that our websites have our broker's information on it. So you should have the broker number somewhere. But if you wanted to change the office phone number that is up a little further to your personal office number or to a second cell, you could do that just so you're aware. Again, as long as you have it on the website, you don't need it in both places. Even though it does require it for both fields, you can make one your own number in that case. Does that make sense? You guys see what I'm talking about? Yeah, right now.
Yes.
And so, like, I'm just going to draw this here. Whoops, not letting me. Whoops, there versus here. Okay. And I don't know what just happened. It went a little crazy on me. All right. So let's now. Okay, Market Center Brokerage. Now remember that this is very specific to your market center. So for Keller Williams and Ridgefield, you want it to be the Keller Williams just Keller Williams or Keller Williams Realty, because that's what we go as. And for Stamford, this is where you want your Keller Williams Prestige Property logo. You will talk to, in Ridgefield, you're going to talk to Maria, and she'll point you in the right direction. In Stamford, you're going to talk to Adonis, and he'll point you in the right direction on the right logo to get. Okay? It looks like you have the proper one in there, so that's good. So what you actually wrote in there was the brokerage license number, David, you changed. That you can get, I don't know those offhand. You can get those from your MCAs. They can give you that information. You know what I'll do? I will reach out to Adonis, and I will have them send that out so that everybody, and Maria, so that everybody has that, and you can put that information there. Scroll down, compliance. This is if there's anything that you require on it. So each Keller Williams office is independently owned and operated, is one you often see. Not intended for solicitation of properties and buyers already under agreement. Might be something else you put in there. So any of your legal requirements that the offices have, this is what you want to put into that space. And then I don't think we have any links or legal footer image things that you want in there, but you may consider putting something in there just so you're so you have it. One of the things I've seen people do since this shows up on the website is I've seen them put a link to a not a buyer agency agreement, but the buyer agency disclosure, so that they have it on the website that does disclose to people what agency is, and so that it's always there. That's an idea of what that link might be used for. It's not required in the state of Connecticut to put that there, and yet I have seen some people do that as a tool. All right. Scrolling down a little further, social. This is optional, but these are the links that you are required to have. So you're going to want to put that information, not required, sorry, optional, but if you want to drive people to your social media, so if you want to drive them to your Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of those things, you could put those links there. Here's my recommendation. Do not just create those just to have them. Social media is, it's social, right? So as the name implies, if you are not active on social media, and you just have it, you look like a dead business, right? You look like non-existent. So if you're going to put these out there, make sure you use them and make sure that you are interacting with the people on your pages. Otherwise, it's actually going to work against you. It's a great tool. It's fantastic for connecting with your past clients, your future clients, and letting people see that you have a pulse, right? And that you're a living, breathing person. But on the flip side of that is if you're not actually putting the effort into doing some stuff there, it does the exact opposite, right? It makes it so it looks like you don't have a pulse. You're not a living, breathing person. So understand that this is a tool, use it, and to show and showcase your value. Now, one thing I want you to understand is this is different than connecting your social media platforms for use of the campaigns module, which we will show you how to connect those. This is just links to your website from your website. So links to your Facebook page from your website, links to your Twitter account or your Instagram from your website. That's all this is. All right. Facebook pixel and ads, we're going to ignore that for right now. Put in the chat if you are using Facebook pixels already. That is a definitely not even like a 201 class, that's a 301 class. So if you're interested in that and you're doing it, we can add that in. But if you're already using Facebook pixels, you know where to go and find that. If you're not, that's a whole nother class. So let's not worry about that right now. Same with Google Analytics ID. Is if you are using Google Analytics, you know where to find this. If you're not, we're going to have to do a whole nother class on that because that's its own topic. Understood, guys? Excellent. Now, scrolling down, your branded KW app link. I don't know, does anybody have this blank or is this auto-filling for you guys? If it's not autofilling, I will show you where to go and get it. But just raise your hand if you have a blank spot on that. And by raise your hand, I mean in the chat. You can raise your hand there. No? Okay, so iPhone, I don't see a name, so I don't know who did that. But you have a blank there. Okay, so I'm going to show you where you can go and find this. And David, I will show people. We'll walk them through that in just a second. Any questions so far? This is the marketing profile. Any questions on what you're seeing here, or where you might go to find this information if you need it? And remember, you're muted, so if you're trying to talk to me, you need to unmute yourself. Okay. Moving on. Before we move on from this, I'm just scroll back up to the top, David. So Jacqueline, that is in the Facebook business section. So if you go to, I believe it's business.facebook.com, you can find it there, but you would have had to have that set up already. If you don't already use Facebook Pixel, it's not obvious. You're going to have to go digging there. That's a whole separate class, but great question. Real quick, I just want to show you guys a couple of quirky things. So David, I want you to click on the marketing profile Kelly guide. And understand that what this is it's going to help you fill out that marketing profile step by step. So I was teaching you and I was showing you what the whole profile is, so you guys are familiar with it. This exists so that you can do a step-by-step walkthrough. Some people find this easier, some people find it more confusing. So again, I'm just showing you that it's here and that it's an option if you want to fill this out, okay? Somebody unmuted. I don't know who that was, but if you could mute yourself if you're not going to ask a question. So let's close out of this. But again, guys, remember that this Smart Plan guide does exist. Where can I get KW logo photo? Okay, so that depends on your market center. I see iPhone. I don't know who this is.
Hi, I'm so sorry. Hi, it's Jennifer Harkins, and I'm Stanford.
Okay, Stanford. So I don't know where you would find that for Stanford. Either ask Adonis or Jen Henry. I think they know where it is.
Okay.
I don't recommend Googling it, Jacqueline, just because you might get a poor quality version by doing that. And you can get the higher quality version by going through the market center, just to make sure.
No problem.
And remember,
Thank you.
Stanford is Prestige Properties.
Yep.
And thank you, Carlos. Carlos is going to add the Stanford one in the chat. You just want to make sure that you use a high enough quality one. And you may actually need a higher quality one for when you do print versus when you do image. So just be aware of that.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Carlos. Moving on now, I'm gonna real quick before we go too far, because I did want to show you where you can get your app link. Okay. And your website link if you want to do that. So. David, I want you to hit the consumer or the pages. So on the left-hand side, it is the one that looks like a website with a little person down in the corner. It's the very last one on those icons. Yep. So click on that real quick. And now in here, we're not getting into this today. This is a whole other class that we're gonna that we can work on setting this up. But I just want to show you where to get the links real quick so that you can use it in your marketing. So under Site Apps and Setting, it's on the right next to the blue button on the top. Click on that. Okay. Now the next tab over, it says URLs. So I want you to click that. back a little bit. Sorry, go down to where, up. So you see general URLs, featured listing. It's the second tab right above where you are. Yep, click on that. It's going to take a minute to load. Now again, setting up your website is a whole other class, and we can get into that if we have a little time at the end. But we're just gonna walk through some of these settings here and getting these all tuned in. So here you go where URLs. So there are two that are shown here. The first one you can change, but once you put it on your marketing, I don't recommend changing it. And that is your subdomain. So you have davidclee.kw.com. So remember that is your URL to get your KW website. The second URL you can't edit, but you can copy it, and that's your app URL. So where it says app.kw.com and then that code at the end, that is your app URL. So you can click copy and you can then paste that in your marketing profile. Okay. Now yours was already there, David, so we don't need to do this. But if anybody else is wondering, that is where you get that. URL. Okay.
And Joe, where do we find, like David has DC Lee, where would mine be? Where do I find what mine is? The
Is yours blank there?
Yes.
Yours is blank. Okay. So for you, you have to go through this setup for your agent sites. And so we're not going to go fully into this right now, but I'll show you where it is because that's a great question. So click on general up at the, go back to consumer. If you click on the consumer tab, which is, yep, there you go, all the way on the left at the bottom. And then I'll just show them where to click. Click on configure your site down at the bottom there. See where it says configure your site on the bottom left? Just click on that so we show people where it is. Now, okay, so what you want in this is you want to click, I want to use the new KW site. And then I don't want you to hit submit, David, but just so they see it, can you put your clicker on the submit button? That is where you would go to then start the process. The very first thing it asks you to do is to pick a subdomain for your KW site, okay? And so you don't hit submit now. That is a Kelly guide that it will walk you through, and we can do a separate class just on setting up your website. And if we have some more time at the end of class, we can get into that a little bit, but that's where you would go to start doing that, okay? So hit cancel, and real quick, go back to where it says site and app settings. On the top right where we were before. And I want you guys to look at one thing real quick. So one of the things you might do is you might set up your marketing profile, and then you'll go to your website, you'll go to your website and nothing will have changed. And there are two reasons for this. One, it usually takes 5 to 10 minutes for things to get from your marketing profile to your website. But if 5 to 10 minutes pass and you don't have the changes made, or it just has the generic KW and none of your updates, there is a chance that that little toggle at the top of the screen under consumer is turned off. So if you could just click on, or not click on it, but move your cursor to it, that is where it says use my information to brand my agent site. The reason why that does not turn off is because of compliance. So if you don't have everything for your compliance in there yet, it is recommended not to turn it on. And then once you have broker information, your logo, everything, click to turn it on, and it will move from looking like a generic KW site to a branded site that will be in compliance. That is why that exists. Specifically for states like California is a great example, where if you're slightly out of compliance, you get like $500 or $1,000 fees. So they did that to protect you. But it confuses some agents because they go through all this work and their information is not on their website, and it is because you have that toggled off is the most likely reason. Okay? Any questions so far, guys? And remember, we're not delving into how to set up your website yet. but we can go back to that. So if there are any questions on anything we just went over that you would like to go over.
Joe?
Yes, Joe.
So I still have a Playster site. So when you're choosing that, you know, when that window came up, I should choose do my Playster site, correct?
So if you're still going to be using your Playster site, yes.
Because
I am not. So I'm not sure how that what information gets to the marketing. So I would. That's a great question for KW support because I'm not sure exactly how that. Yeah.
no, it
I
isn't,
don't have an answer on that.
because there's no one to help me. Because my website, Michelle Milton Real Estate .kw doesn't go anywhere.
Okay. So you may want to set up your KW site just so that if somebody goes to that old URL, they will get to a site. Even though you're still using your Playster site and all your other marketing, you'll have to click on I'm using the KW site. Now, by clicking that, you're not going to cancel your account with Playster because you still have a contract with them, right? So
Yeah.
that contract will not change, but you will be able to create a KW version of the site so that if somebody happens upon it or if they download your app, they also have the accompanying web portal to it. Does that make sense?
Well, yes and no, but because again, my Michelle Milton Real Estate .kw.com doesn't go anywhere.
Okay, so you're going to have to click on when you set up, when you go to set up configure site, you're going to say you want to set up your new KW site. So even though you're still using the old one, because you're using a URL that you pay Playster to use, that's fine. But if you want the Michelle Milton or whatever it was .kw.com to go somewhere, you're going to have to tell it to go to the new KW site.
Yeah.
And then you could just make. Yep.
Yeah. So nobody's been able to help me so far.
All right. This seems very unique, so we'll jump on a side thing and we'll go over that.
Thank you.
Okay. Great. Any other questions on what we have been setting up so far? Jacqueline, great question. Again, we're not getting too much into the website, but a hero image is, if you ever go to a website, and actually, let's see, can we go to your website here quickly?
Testing.
If you go to a website, you know the big image you see when you go to a website? So like Zillow, it's a big image and there's a search bar in it. That big image that takes up most of the page is a hero image. And then hero text is find your perfect home or whatever text is over that image. It's a pretty common thing you see. So like if you go to google.com, the actual Google logo is the hero image. A hero image is just an image that takes up a whole page and is your introduction to a website. Okay, good. I'm glad that answered your question. All right, so now, David, what we're going to do is we're going to move on how to connect accounts. So I want you guys to go and click on your name where it says David Lee, and we're going to click on settings. So now what we're going to start doing is connecting our accounts. Yep, leave this, that's fine. We're going to start connecting our accounts. And this page, I may ask for some people who haven't done this yet. If there's anybody who's not connected, I will walk you through connecting this. But you see here, there are these different accounts. The process of connecting them is very similar for every site. You click connect, you have to type in username and password, and it connects it, and then you're good to go. DocuSign has one extra step, and that extra step is you have to go in and click on an email they send you to authenticate it. So real quick, is anybody not connected to DocuSign right now? Has anybody not connected their DocuSign? iPhone, you raised your hand. Or I don't know if your hand is still up from before. I didn't notice. So Jacqueline, you didn't. You're not connected. Okay. So are you in a position where you could share your screen and we can walk you through this? Erica, okay, you're not connected. Okay, so David, if you could unshare your screen, and Jacqueline, if you could share your screen, we will and unmute yourself so we can talk together. We will work on this. And the rain is picking up, so we'll see how long this lasts, guys. Oh, no, Mike, that's fine. I'll watch out for the tap. If you could share your screen though. And then you can just chat with me if you need any questions. Great. All right. So maximize your screen, please, just so we can see what's going on. And then click on your name and then click on settings. Yep, you can hit leave. That's fine. Great. Oh, you did connect your DocuSign account. So that's fine. Don't hit disconnect. That's okay. We may circle back to this. If somebody clicks on here and doesn't have their DocuSign connected, let me know. Put in the chat if you'd like to share your screen and work through this. But let's scroll down and let's look at some of these different things. So there are a couple of things that you don't have connected that we potentially would want to connect. So she connected her Facebook already, which is great. She connected her DocuSign, which is great. It does not look like her Gmail is connected though. So let's talk about why you might want that. When you connect your Gmail account and the one that you primarily use for your business, that will then show a list of the emails sent to the clients in their contact record if the emails match. So if you connect your Gmail, if you click connect, and this is, again, the process is very similar for all of these accounts. So it's going to say, would you like to connect? Now, you want the one that is your email that you regularly use for your business. So for most of you, that's going to be your KW email. It might be something different for other people, but it's whichever. Next, uh-oh. This is the tricky part, guys, when you gotta find your password. I'm gonna hit resume. So this is the fun part, guys. For those of us who have our password saved, this is an adventure, right? So if you can't remember your password or your for whatever reason it's not working, you're going to have to reset your password. We're not going to walk you through that process. But every, and actually stop sharing your screen real quick, Jacqueline. And I'm going to go to mine, and I'm going to go to answers.kw.com. Oops. And let me share my screen real quick. Share. Okay, so this is a great resource that you guys could look into. So I'm going to look real quick on Gmail, and I'm just going to show you what happens there. So these are resources that you can use at any point. So this is not pulling up here. So connect DocuSign. All right, So here we are. You can look on this at any point. And what I'm trying to do is, I'm trying to find this since everybody's already connected so you can see this is a step-by-step walkthrough. And I do apologize if I seem distracted. The weather just got real nasty outside, so I do apologize. So I'm going to walk you through this since we don't have an account we can connect right now. The first thing is you go to your settings, like we said, and it will bring you to this main integration page. You scroll down and you find DocuSign. You click Connect Account. Now again, this is similar process for every account. So if you learn how to do it once, it's very similar. It will ask you for your username and password, and then it will ask you to authenticate it somehow, either by answering a security question or by clicking a link in the email address you have set up. So for DocuSign, you click Connect Account, and then it's going to say, it's going to have this pop up, and it's going to say the input you'd like DocuSign documents to be sent from. For most of us, this will be our KW account. For some of you, it might be another one, a personal domain or whatever. So you put your first name, your last name, and that preferred email, and then send registration email. If you do already have an account and log in, the account that you have with KW is very, very different. So you're going to want to understand by talking with KW first what the differences in those are. Some of you may choose to continue to keep a DocuSign account that's not a KW one, but most of you are just going to hit send registration email. Now what's going to happen is it's going to say a DocuSign invite. You're going to get this email and you have to click accept invite. This will then connect your account and it will allow you to make a username and password. Now, actually just a password, because your username is going to be the email you told it you wanted to use. Okay? So you put in those passwords, you put in that question, and that is for verification in case you ever forget. So now you scroll down, accept agreement. I know, feel free to read this. You high C's out there are going to read it. Your D's, you're not. Hit accept agreement. Now you have one last step, which is you actually have to go in and click authorize, which will then make you sign in your DocuSign username and password. So you go in and you do that, and that will create the final connection. It's going to ask for permission. You're going to give it permission because that's the only way command will work, and then hit accept, and it is connected. Now, I recommend, and I highly recommend, saving your username and password to DocuSign in your Chrome passwords or your, if you use LastPass, whatever you use to save your passwords. The reason why I recommend this is for some people, even if you authorize it and connect it, you will still have to log in every time you click the button. That is security on their part. So you just want to make sure that you have that saved, so you're not going to have to go looking it up every single time. Okay. Any questions on that, guys? I'm sorry I was not able to do this live, but that is the process of connecting your DocuSign account. Any questions? Nope. Okay. I'm going to hit stop share. And is anybody's, I don't know, let's see. David, are you still there or did you leave? We're losing people. It might be because the storm opened up outside. I'm going to go back to my command. I'm going to show you a couple things. Then here, let me share my screen. Okay. So here we are in command. I'm going to click on my name and I'm going to click settings. And we're going to run down. So you see here now for me, it says DocuSign.loop, Facebook scheduling. You would not have Connect More. You would just have Connect Account like this. if you have not connected it yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to manage. I'm going to disconnect my account real quick so I can show you guys the process of connecting Facebook. Okay, so now if I don't have it connected, it's all the way down here. And there are two places Facebook connects, post scheduling and ads manager. Ad manager are for paid ads. Post scheduling is just for posting ads to your business page. Understand this is not ever going to post to your personal. It has to be a business page. If you are interested in setting up a business page, that is a separate class. This is assuming you already have that set up. So I'm going to click Connect Account, and it's going to pop open Facebook, and it's going to connect Facebook pages. Now, because I was already logged into Facebook, it allowed me to just, it knew it was there and it connected. If I was not logged into Facebook, it would take me and it would want me to log in. So I'm going to click McHugh Real Estate. I'm going to click Connect, and now it's connected. Now, again, it may ask you to do a username and password. That is, if you are not connected to Facebook, it will put that in there. Any questions on that, guys? Okay. Scrolling down, a couple other things. We are switching over to command mail, which includes 5,000 free emails per month. If you click manage on that, you can put your sender name and your reply to email. And it's emails that it has in the system. So joe@josephw.com is mine. You could do your KW. It's up to you. And then I would start with the 5,000 emails a month. And then if you need more, then you would ultimately purchase a package through the company. But for right now, you just start, click Save Changes, and now your email is set up and ready to go in Command. Any questions on that? The process of connecting these is pretty straightforward. If you've done them one, you've done them all. The exception being PieSync and Twilio. I'm going to skip Twilio for today, mainly because, and I lost power, so I can't show you the rest. Okay, guys. I lost power, guys, so I cannot continue teaching you what to do. But if you have any questions at this point, my phone still seems to be working, so you can jump on that. And actually, my screen might still be working. Having some technical. My email is Joe McHugh, that's MCCUE @kw.com. Feel free to ask me any questions. I don't know how, oh, the light went out, so I disappeared here. Feel free to shoot me any questions. Carlos, I'm not sure who's scheduling these, but if you want me to redo this class again in a week when I'm not going to be cut off because of the weather, feel free to put me on the calendar again. Just reach out to me. I would love to do this. And again, I'm going to type it in the chat. It's Joe McHugh @kw.com.
Thank you, Joe. Good luck out there.
Yeah, my pleasure. And I'm gonna log out here in just a second. But any questions you have, I just can't show you, but I can answer anything that you might have.
Thanks, Joe.
All right, if there are no questions, I am ending the call.
Thanks. Stay safe.
Bye-bye.